Hello and welcome to my Stitched Circle Show Challenge. I'm the host for this challenge and my name is Lisbeth and I'm a Danish abstract mixed media artist who likes to do all sorts of things. And I especially like embroidery and I like working after Dogma Rules. We have reached week 32, so a long way into the year, and that is nice. If you have just found my channel or this video and you're wondering what it is I'm talking about, find here below under the little word more or the description box, depending on what device you are looking at, and go for that and find the playlist for this Stitch Circle Show Challenge and find week 1. There I will explain everything about what this is about, so I won't be using a lot of time for that. Also below here under the same place there is a link for a Facebook group, and you can apply that Facebook group if you want to participate in this challenge. Don't apply if you don't want to do the challenge. That isn't a place for you to be if you don't want to do the challenge. You can always look at the videos. They are free for everyone to look at. But what else do I want to say? I don't think I need... Yeah, I have placed my small embroideries here in my book here, and you can see it is quite fat already. And I have made 2 signatures here in my cover. And there's also a link for making such a cover. Not the stitching and so on, but sewing a cover together. But that isn't a must. You can have your small swatches or samples or small embroideries, do with them whatever you like to do. You can place them in a box, you can sew them onto a scroll, you can buy a sketchbook and put them in there, and you can stack them, and you can do whatever you like to do with them. And the nice thing about having all these here in a book is you can, of course you can also do it else, but take them out here and seek inspiration and work further. If one of the weeks you particularly like, you can say, oh, I want to work further with that, and here we have done it like this. You could also do it like this and this and this. So there is so much inspiration in this book here, or in all these small embroideries, and I really hope you will use it that way, to use it as inspiration. And if you are doing the challenge, please stick to the rules for the first one you make, but you of course very welcome to make more than one and develop on the basic rules. But let us see here. This was the last one I made, so I will just flip it up here, and then I know that is where I'm going to put my embroidery in for today. So I will find the things for week 32 and we can get started. This week is some very simple rules. I have a piece of denim fabric and a dark one, and I think you should use a dark one if you can that. I've just cut the legs of my hobbyist old trousers that he had put in the bin, so I saved them and cut all the seams and everything out, and then I have some bigger pieces of fabric. Some are lighter and some are darker, depending on where on the trousers they have been sitting. I think it is close to the to his foot, the darkest one. It isn't worn out there. So I cut a piece of fabric out of that. So a piece of dark denim fabric is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is only to stitch the bow stitch and sew it in meandering or waverley lines inside your traced circle. If you don't know what a bow stitch is, I will show it you here in a second. And the third rule is to use a thread of your choice and color choice, but make it a color so you can see it. There isn't no meaning in if I took a dark blue color here, or I took a black color, or some a color you can see on your fabric. And how thin or thick thread you will use, that is up to you. And that is maybe also depending on how big or small you will make your stitches, because you can of course choose how big or small you will make your stitches, but they have to lie in some waverley meandering lines, and put the lines pretty close together. All this I will write here below also, so you can sit quietly and read it, and not just hear me blah 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 blah. So that is the plan for today. So let us get started. This is a quite dark fabric. There is no meaning in me tracing a pencil line, because I won't be able to see it. So I have such a thing here with chalk in it, so I can trace it after that. And again, I will try to center it the best I can, and it is difficult because the phone is right here under my nose. So, but I think I will go over here, so I'll just press it down, and then I think I would have to give it a good layer so it won't disappear while I'm working. Yeah, that is fine. I think it is okay. It could have been a little further down here, I can see. I have used such a thing here I have bought in our local supermarket for punching cookies and doing other things in the kitchen. But of course you can use a tin plate like this, or you can go in your kitchen and find a plate or a cup or a bowl or whatever you have, and trace around that. You don't have to have all these fancy things to make a circle. So that is ready for stitching, but before, I think I would show you the bow stitch. And it isn't my invention. I have seen a Dutch lady, and she's called Miriam, I think, for the first name, but her last name I can't remember what it is, and even though I could remember it, I'm sure I could not pronounce it because I don't speak Dutch. But it is quite easy, and now I will make them quite big so you can see it. It is like a cross stitch, but it is like a cross stitch like this, but you make it slim and tall instead of that is a cross stitch here. That is a cross stitch, and instead you make it slim and tall. That is the best way I can describe it. So you go down there. So I think every one of you who is doing this challenge here can make this slim, tall cross stitch. And then you put an end to the cross stitch. So you just come up here and go down there. So you put a ground or an end to the stitch, and then you do exactly the same. You come up here, go up in that hole there, and you come up in the other here, over here. Whoops, and now I'm dropping my needle. Go down here and make the closure here, or it also, she calls it the bow stitch, but you could also say it's like one of these small things that are sand inside, and you can take time with it, and you flip it over when all the sand has run through, has gone whatever time it is set for, but perhaps it's a minute or 5 minutes, and when all the sand has run through, your 5 minutes, for instance, has gone. So, an hourglass perhaps is the name I suddenly think of, but I'm not sure. Somebody can tell me. Right now I am just going on a line, but you can, not you can, the Dogma Rules said to make them in meandering lines. So you will do that by going this way here, for instance. There. So you can twist and turn them. So this is the bow stitch. Not very difficult. So let's start with the real piece. If you want to, you can just jump in and start somewhere and make a waverley meandering line. But you can also, if you're a little more unsecure on how, you can try to draw a line you will follow. And if you don't hit it exactly, it doesn't matter that much, but the chalk here will disappear. But let us see if I will start here. So I have taken a quite thin thread because I don't want my stitches to be chunky. And I don't know yet, perhaps I should have traced the circle. But now I will just start. Here. And that is too much of a cross here, I think. I think I will pick it up and then I will trace the circle first. That is easier, I think, so you know what to keep inside. And I think I will just do some running stitches, but that is up to you how you would do it. You can do back stitches or double running stitches. That, yeah, do what you fancy to do. So yeah, it is a little stretchy, this fabric, to stitch into, and I think it is good to have a very pointy needle here. It is quite heavy, this fabric. But you don't need to see me stitch all the way around, so I will do that and then I will be back. So I have been sewing all around, and I can see the chalk disappears quite quickly as soon as I touch it. So I don't know yet if I will do a double running stitch, but I can always do it afterwards. I think I will just start with my bow stitching here and see if I can follow this line here. That was the first long skinny cross, and then the end here. Yeah. And then I will I will see if I can make them a little longer. So now I go up and down. And that is perhaps a little easier. And up here in this, up here. And up again there. Oh, I forgot the bottom stitch, but I can just do it here. I don't know if you call that cheating, but I don't think that matters so much. There. And again, there. And where is my line? There. Up here and into this. There. And there. We make a good long one. You can see they go a little wonky, but that is exactly what I like. Yeah, that doesn't look nice. So off with that. It is not open I'm picking up, but I think when it's needed, it's needed. I don't want to have anything I really don't like to look at. So it is not a stitch I have sewn a lot of, so I'm not in the best practice. But now you know, for me it's exactly like for you. So there and there and there. I hope you can see it. But I will sew all the way down there and decide how close I want my stitches. Yeah, how lucky can one girl get? It fitted exactly with the thread, so I could end it there. So I think I will make this side here, this area, going like this all the way, and then I will do some other things there. So I think I will go to this stitch here perhaps, and I don't know if it is necessary now to draw lines, because now I have something to steer after. And is that, let me see if that's too far away, or I'm not too far away, but if I want smaller space between. No, I think it is a fine space that is between the two lines. But make them quite close, but you can of course make bigger stitches or use a heavier thread than I'm using. But yeah, there are many ways you can do this. Oops, no knots, please, please, please. There. So. It's quite nice to stitch this stitch here. So I don't know how you have it, but as soon as I start stitching and it is going, I start thinking of all sorts of things. And I'm especially right now thinking about what I can plan for next week. So it hopefully will be exciting for you still to do the challenge. There are so many ways you can stitch and do things, and that is so nice. Even though you think you know a lot, and I can a lot of stitches, when I'm doing it in my fabric collages or other places, I often tend to use the same stitches, but not here in this stitch show challenge. I will try to present some different stitches for you perhaps didn't know already. And some of them you will like, and some of them you will hate to do, and so it will be. But I will stitch this one down here. I think they look lying nice. So I will stitch this area, and then I can decide and show you what I will do on the other part here. Done with this area here, and I think it looks so nice. And I think to help myself, I will draw a line here. And fill this area here, and then I will decide if I will go that way here with these stitches there. And I will start here and use the running stitch there. It sounds quite different stitching in this denim fabric than it is to stitch in thin cotton. I don't know if I said that earlier, but when I will stitch all the way down here, and then I would just turn my work and stitch that one down there, and again turn and turn and turn, so I don't break my thread. I just turn the work instead, and I think that does something good for the stitches also, because I think often this one ends with being a little smaller, but when you then turn it upside down every second time, you can't see that will look more the same, I think. But perhaps it is just something I'm imagining. That could also be. But I will sew all the way down there and fill all the rest of the area, and then I can decide what to do there. So done with the stitching on this side here. And originally it was my plan to sew stitches that way here, but I think it looks so nice as it is right now, so I won't be doing any more to this, except I will make this 2 double running stitches to give it a little more definition in the round here. So let me see if I can come up here. Oops, there wasn't a knot on my thread. There. Yeah, let me come up here. So it is just doing the opposite of what I did in the first round. So there. And I don't know if it is necessary to do it all the way around, or perhaps just there and there. I think I will start with doing that and see how that looks. Yeah, you can have one opinion on things until you start doing it, and then you can change your opinion. And that is our rights here. This one will only be a small one. Oh, my nose is running now. Yeah, it gets a little more wonky, I can see, and I don't like that. It's a little difficult to stitch into this, but I will stitch all the way down, not down, but until there, and see how that looks. So done, and it looked a little strange with only stitching, double running stitching these 2 places, so I did it all the way around, and in the hindsight it would have been better to stitch the whole circle with double running stitches before I started doing the bow stitches, because it's a little wonky in some places. Yeah, there's a little stitch going over there, but all in all I'm satisfied with it, and it is a very nice stitch to sew. I will take some close-ups at the end of the video, and now I will remember to take a picture also before I glue it in my book. So I will write the Dogma Rules in my book and show you how to glue it in, and then there will be some close-ups at the end. Then I have my double-sided tape, because I glue mine into the book, but of course you can sew them into your book if you want to. And since I have most fabric up here, I will have that at the top. But I have embroideries on both sides of my page, So therefore I don't like to sew my pages in, because then there would be stitching in, yeah, perhaps a thing that's already sitting there, and I don't like that. But if you have only embroideries on one side of your page, you can stitch them in, and then there would be some stitching on the back side where there isn't anything, and that is fine too. But that is if you have twice as many pages in your book as I have. If you have a book, you don't have to have a book to do this. That shouldn't prevent anybody from doing this, not having a book. There it was, yes, and then I will find my book here, and I have written my rules here, so I will just, and I think I will stand up, so I hopefully can, yeah, I think this is fine there. Yeah, and that looks nice. Yeah, so done with this week 32. So, oh, I have so many things here, away with them. So let me just say, I hope you have liked this week's challenge, and I'm really hoping to see a lot of nice embroideries in the group or on Instagram. Many are doing it on Instagram because they don't want to be on Facebook, and I can quite understand that. And perhaps some of you are doing it without even me knowing it, and that is fine too. But of course I like to see what people are doing. I also get inspiration from seeing what other people are doing and how they see what they choose to do with the few Dogma Rules. So if you have liked my little video here, and if you have been inspired to do the challenge yourself, please give my video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very helpful of you, and I would appreciate it very, very much. So I would just say be creative and take care until next week, and hopefully I will come up with some exciting things there too. So bye bye for now. Hej hej.